It is quite true that the smartphone camera technology has undergone significant advances in recent years. Accordingly, it is not unlikely that the image quality of mobile cameras will be equal to current digital cameras for say 10 years, but the current digital cameras, not digital cameras for the next 10 years. The truth is that digital camera sensor technology is also evolving year by year. So while it may be possible for a smartphone to take a picture on par with a full-frame DSLR camera in the next decade, it is unlikely to be able to compete with its all-time digital cameras. Now you might say, it doesn't matter, the quality is just as satisfying to me. But rest assured, you will have a different opinion in 10 years, because as technology advances, so do our expectations. So when you compare the quality of your mobile camera photo with the quality of your digital camera photo, you will admit the weakness of your mobile camera. Subscribe our YouTube channel to watch the rest of this video and more. Can smartphones replace cameras? The clear answer to this question is no. The best smartphones available still can't convince a photographer to give up their camera and use only the phone for photography. Of course, the smartphone camera is currently the most popular and common type of camera in the world because it is both easy to use and due to the nature of the mobile phone, it is always with you wherever you go. There are currently limitations and shortcomings in mobile cameras that have prevented them from attracting the attention of professional photographers. In the following video, we will deal with the shortcomings of mobile cameras compared to cameras of different types. The most annoying limitation in mobile cameras is the fixed and unchangeable focal length. These cameras are always in wide mode. Some mobile manufacturers have already used innovations such as a smart zoom, second and even third lenses to increase the focal length, and some have made it possible to install miniature telephoto lens converters. But really, all these innovations have not been able to replace the ability to change the lens, and you cannot use a lens that fits the required focal length, depending on the scene you want to shoot. One of the most important factors for street photographer is the speed of focus. Smartphones, despite having as much processing power as computers, are still unsatisfactory when focusing on speed. The focusing speed of mirrorless DSLR cameras is much faster than that of a smartphone camera. After focusing is done, the bad thing is the shutter delay. The latency that can be boldly said in most smartphones is between half to 1 second. For ordinary users, this amount of slow shutter may not matter, but a professional photographer is never willing to miss a moment because of the slow shutter. Whether smartphones use laser focus or face detection or any other system, the speed of the focusing process and their instant recording is not on par with digital cameras. Therefore, although the camera of mobile phones is being upgraded from generation to generation, and this is an undeniable fact, it still does not make sense to replace the digital camera with a mobile phone. The small sensor size may be less important than the things that we said, and there is basically no problem if the above is available and the sensor size is small. But it would be a huge move if smartphone makers could fit a 1-inch sensor camera into their phones. Compare a portrait photo taken with a phone or a portrait photo taken with a digital or mirrorless camera. The point that will catch your eyes is the transparency of the main subject and the step-by-step blurring of the space behind it. Smartphones, despite the manufacturer's effort to use a second sensor to create a similar quality, still cannot capture a portrait equal to that of a mirrorless DSLR camera. The reason for this is the depth of field and the degree to which the subject is in the focus. Naturally, when you use your standalone camera only for photography, its battery life is longer than a cell phone that consumes tens of thousands more. Some home cameras can take only 250 photos on a single charge, which is a small amount in the world of photography. Instead, digital cameras take about 1,200 shots on a single charge. But for smartphones, since you use them as both a phone and a camera and a gaming device, you naturally experience less battery life. So many times in a day you have to recharge your device repeatedly. On this account, if you want to go too far in photography with your phone, you will probably turn off the phone and get out of the reach, at least if you do not have a power bank with you. Smartphones usually have a lifespan of 2 to 3 years, after which they deteriorate from various parts such as the battery and the operating system, and gradually with the disconnection of the software support, the user is led to buy a newer model. But digital cameras are built to be highly durable. That's why a 10-year-old digital camera can still take high-quality photos. If you are interested in photography, invest in a device that you can use for a long time. In general, if you are going to replace an expensive smartphone with a digital camera, you should know that the result will not be very good. In conclusion, we should say smartphone cameras are incredibly efficient and high quality. In fact, given the ease of use of a mobile camera and its acceptable quality over compact low-end cameras, many users may prefer a small multifunction mobile device to a large camera that only takes pictures and does not have much superiority in terms of quality. But it must be admitted that digital cameras are always superior to mobile cameras in many ways, due to their capabilities such as optical zoom and larger sensors and interchangeable lens. In addition, the fact that the battery and the processor of the digital camera are not involved in any other processing and are only used for photography makes the battery life and focusing speed of the device longer. Of course, it all depends on how much of a photographer you are and how much you care about photography. For the average person who is not interested in photography and is basically unable to distinguish accurate and high-quality photos, the best option is a smartphone with a good camera, because it is lighter, smaller, cheaper, and always available. But given the limitations of mobile cameras such as the small sensor, the lack of a physical shutter, and the irreplaceability of the lens, we should not expect smartphones to be able to replace digital and mirrorless cameras for photographers in the near future.